let's move on to your bill that would help increase ethics in the legislature.
Well, basically the idea is, and this came to me as a new member, that as part of our new member orientation, we had ethics training. Now, some things are fairly obvious that are legal.
Yeah, and, one would hope, right?
Right. You know, taking a brown paper bag of money is probably not a good idea in any profession. So some things are obvious. But one thing about, and I come from the private sector before this, and coming over to the public sector, particularly in a job like this, there actually are areas where it's a lot of gray area. What can a staffer do? What can a staffer not do? State laws are different than federal laws and are different than City of Philadelphia laws. So there is actually a lot of gray area, and I think it's very important to have that sort of ethics training. So that way, not just an elected official, but also staff know where the bright lines are and that they're able to stay out of trouble. That benefits them. It benefits everybody. My ethics training was all day long. It was only supposed to be a 4-hour segment, but we had so many questions, ended up being the whole day. And I found it very beneficial and helpful. Well, one thing I found was that there was no guarantee that new members or any elected officials get ethics training. In fact, this didn't used to happen just a couple years ago. So I wanted to actually pass into law a requirement that you have annual ethics training for elected officials and staffers, just to make sure everyone knows what the rules are, and it helps keep people out of trouble.
Yeah, and that's right. And since you said it was originally supposed to be intended to last 4 hours and it lasted all day, it just shows that it's really knocked out a lot of confusion.
There is a lot of confusion, and we'll have an issue where I have 2 constituent service offices in Philadelphia. They do a lot of good work, help a lot of people. Someone might come in with a political question. Now, this is a constituent, a neighbor who doesn't realize that there's a dividing line between the political work and the government work. So someone comes in asking a political question or wants to pick up a yard sign. What is the staffer allowed to do? Is he allowed to help the constituent? Is he not allowed to help? Those are the sort of real-life examples that the ethics training helped with. And so I think it's very important moving forward. And again, it's not just for elected officials, but also government staffers. Because some of the things that have happened in government the last few years just create tremendous amount of cynicism among the public. In my short time in elective office, the vast majority of people I've worked with, I would say, are good and decent people and are well-intentioned. But unfortunately, it's the bad apples that get a lot of media attention, and it gives a bad name to all of us who are in public service. So anything that we can do to ensure that elected officials are doing the right thing and staying clear of legal issues, it's a good thing for them, but it's a good thing for all of us.
That's right. Stay above the gray line. And your bill would require require these employees and elected officials to take this class within their first 30 days here.
Correct. Which is the way.
So you nip it in the bud right away.
And that's actually the best time to do it. So that way folks understand what the rules are, ask all those sorts of questions, and then it guides behavior moving forward.
Okay. Well, you have all these great services. Can you tell your constituents where they can find you?
Sure. The best thing to do is to look for all of our information on the web. I can be found at pahouse.com/Boyle. Have my email address up there, so I encourage people to send me an email. Also have our phone number up there. For Philadelphia, it's 215-676-0300. For Harrisburg, if you want to reach us, it's 717-787-3055. Also have 2 district offices, one in far northeast Philadelphia on Bustleton Avenue. It's 14230 Bustleton. Also have one in the lower northeast on Rising Sun Avenue, just about a block south of Cottman, across from the post office.
Well, that's a lot of offices.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Again, it was a pleasure having you on the show.